According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a tyrant is a ruler who exercises absolute power oppressively or brutally. Does that describe God? Let's find out. For many people, God is seen as an all-powerful ruler. God is the lawgiver, the judge, wielding justice from a throne in heaven. Do good and you will be rewarded. Do bad and you will be punished. And God's view of good and bad is all that matters. But is that really the only way to view God? Can sacred texts be interpreted differently to show a kinder, gentler God instead? Let's take a look at Deuteronomy 11:13 through 17 to find out. If you will carefully obey the commands I'm giving you today, and if you love the Lord your God and serve him with all your heart and soul, then he will send the rains in their proper seasons, the early and late rains, and you can bring in your harvest of grain, new wine, and olive oil. He will give you lush pasture land for your livestock, and for yourselves will have all you want to eat. But be careful. Don't let your heart be deceived, so you turn away from the Lord and serve and worship other gods. If you do, the Lord's anger will burn against you. He will shut up the sky and hold back the rain, and the ground will fail to produce its harvest. Then you will quickly die in that good land the Lord has given you. If we assume that God is a powerful ruler, then the reward and punishment interpretation makes total sense here. Reward and punishment are key components of a system based on coercive power, a power over others, the ability to make those who are less powerful do what we want. This is the main kind of power associated with God, and for many, it's the view of divine power that's the most problematic. Instead of reward and punishment, can we understand the Bible to be describing a sacred ecology of actions and their consequences? By fulfilling our spiritual and ethical obligations, we align ourselves with the divine flow of goodness and truth. When we do this, the rain falls and the water of nourishment and blessings pour out as they're meant to. Deuteronomy's description of God's anger can be understood not as punishment, but as an inherent consequence of our actions. We experience drought and the absence of godly blessings when we ignore our obligations to ourselves, to one another, to the earth, and to our divine source. We may feel like this is a drought personally, a kind of spiritual crisis, or we may experience it as an entire society in the economic, political, and environmental realms. Unlike coercive power, which forces us to do something against our will, persuasive power orients us and encourages us to move in a certain direction. Persuasive power can be more or less forceful, just like a river current can be gentle or knock us off our feet. It cajoles and instructs, and challenges and inspires. This is how I want you to view God when you read a passage such as this. Do not look at them for reward punishment. No. Rather, interpret them as God teaching you how to live a better life, how to gently nudge you in the right direction, keeping you on the right track, so to speak. God is not trying to coerce you to live a certain way, but persuade you. You have no real choice if the only options are, do what I tell you or else. That isn't an actual choice. Rather, God is trying to persuade us to live the best possible life. And in order to do that, a genuine choice must be available. The or else is the consequence of a poor choice, not a judgment from God. Hey, thanks for coming by today, visiting us here at Coach Doc Ministries. As always, like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. If you have any questions that you want answered, ask them in the comments below, and we'll address them in a future video. Please join us at our Facebook and Instagram communities linked below. It was great to see you. I'm glad you were here. Look for you next week. Talk to you then.